Walking down these empty streets, echoes of the past I meet, lost and wandering for so long, searching for where I belong. Sunrise breaking through the night, guiding me back to the light. Every step feels like a prayer, promises hang in the air. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, you pay.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the Dear Brother Podcast. Actually, welcome to the Dear Sister Podcast as well. I'm streaming live this morning from both streams, the Dear Sister and Dear Brother Podcast. This morning I had I wrote a book called Removing the Shame. It's on my website right now, christianwinners.com. It's an ebook that I just released last week. It's on my website right now. You can go grab it. But I really feel compelled this morning to teach about this concept of shame. I think the shame is keeping a lot of people from where they really want to be in life. You know, I've been there. I've been there where there's three things that usually hurt us: shame, guilt, and doubt. You know, those are three things that really hurt our motion forward in life: shame, guilt, and doubt. And at some point, I will maybe go into talking about guilt and doubt. But I think shame has been a real enemy against a lot of people, right? It's the shame of where you've been, or mistakes you've made, or places you've gone, or dark places you've gone in your mind. And the goal of shame is to keep you stuck in one place, feeling unworthy, right? The reason I'm going on both streams this morning, the Dear Brother and Dear Sister Podcast, is because there are some subjects that I really feel like cross both lines, right? This message is not just for men, but it's also for women. Shame is a big deal, right? Shame has taken people apart. Some of you have seen shame wreck your family. Some of you have seen shame wreck marriages, right? Some of you seen shame, how it's held you up in your life. So that's what I want to talk about this morning. I want to talk about removing the shame from your life. I really want to talk about removing the shame, because there's some things that a lot of times you could go back years in your life, and some things that you haven't dealt with, some things you haven't really had closure on. A lot of times they can cause deep shame in your life. And I want to deal with that this morning. In fact, I think I'm going to do maybe a 3-part series. Maybe today is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Probably Tuesday, today, tomorrow, and Thursday. I'll probably be teaching on shame, because I really want people free of shame. It is really deep bondage. Let me see who's in the room so I can say good morning to you. Let me see. Good morning, Natasha. Good morning. Good morning, everyone coming in the room. But go on my website, guys, right now. I'll be teaching a little bit of this morning, but I put out a new ebook called Removing the Shame, Who Caused Your Delay. This is a part 3. I wrote this last year. It's a 3-part book, but I just put out number 1. So you can go on christianwinners.com right now. I'm selling this ebook right now for $5. I also have another one up right now too, Overcoming Fatigue. So I have these 2 ebooks available to you guys this morning. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button for me this morning. That lets YouTube know that we have a pretty dope show right here, right? So if you think the show is dope, you want other people to know about it, go on right now and hit that like button on YouTube, all right? But these are the 2 books I have available. But I'm going to teach from this today, Removing the Shame. All right. So let's talk about it. I got a half-hour show today. Some of you that already know. If you're new to the show, you may not know. If you've been with me for a while, you know I'm a father, and I got a little baby that I get to school every morning. So I want to be able to do this half-hour show. All right. So let's talk about shame. I want to talk about the trap of shame. Right. And I really the real drive behind this this first part of this book on shame was I was thinking about biblical Jonah. And some of you may know the story of Jonah. Some of you may not know the story of Jonah. But one thing that I've always heard people when they talk about Jonah is the focus is on Jonah, right? And how he got on their boat and running from God. But what I saw about this story was I saw shame, and it wasn't about Jonah. What I saw in this story that made a lot of sense to me, again, let me know if you never heard of Jonah. I'll do some deeper explanation. But Jonah ran from his purpose and he jumped on a boat that was going somewhere. I'm talking about shame this morning, y'all. Right? He jumped on a boat that was going somewhere. And I want to say this. I want to ask this question to you. Who is the cause of your delay? Who is the cause of your delay? Who have you allowed in your life that held you from going where you were going? Man, I wish I had a longer show today. But let's get into it, right? Who is the cause of your delay? Who have you allowed? Who snuck in? Who did you let in your life? Right? And now a lot of us battle with this shame concept because we deal with the shame concept because there's places you should have been. There's places you should have gone in life that you have not gone because you allow other people, relationships, opinions of people, jealous people to come in your life and speak things to you that cause you to hold up on you where you were going. Right? And that's a whole twist on the Jonah story again, because when you look at Jonah, the story is, hey, Jonah got swallowed up by the whale. But I think the story has more to do with the people he held up. Who is the cause of your delay in your life? Who caused you shame? Because this is the thing. When you sacrifice where you were going for certain relationships and certain people that meant you no good, it causes shame in your life. And I'm going to tell you, shame has a loud voice. It speaks to you every day, right? I don't know. There's some people in this room that might know what shame is. I know what shame is. I know what it is to make a bad decision or allow someone in your life and you're held up and you look back and say, how did I let that happen? Right? The problem with shame is that shame is not a teacher. Shame will terrorize you. Shame will constantly remind you of what you did, the mistake you made, what you didn't do, right? How long you've been held up. And I think there's some of you right now understand that there's some places you would have been in life if you didn't allow shame to hold you up. There's some things you would have done if you didn't allow shame to hold you up, because what shame does is shame makes you feel unworthy, right? Shame makes you feel unworthy of something better because shame is psychological. Again, shame speaks to you. Right. And so that's why I wrote this. I wrote this book. And I want you to go grab it. It's on my website right now. Ebook, $5. I'm selling it today for $5. Removing the shame. Who's the cause of your delay? Part 1. I'll be releasing part 2 and 3. But right now, go grab that book right on my website. So number one, I want to say this, and I want to say this again. Shame is not a teacher. You know, some people, we say, life will teach you some lessons. Life will teach you some lessons, but shame is not a teacher. Shame wants to destroy you. Shame wants to make you stay in the bed, close the windows, close the blinds, don't answer the phone. That's what shame does. Shame will ruin you. Good morning, everybody that's coming in. I'm streaming live from the Dear Brother podcast and the Dear Sister podcast. Reason I'm doing that is because I'm teaching on shame this morning. And I think shame is one of those things that cross the path of both men and women. And it's held you up, right? Some of you have gotten into horrible relationships, and the shame of wasting that much time with somebody, you still carry it, right? We see, because we all like to say, oh, I'm just moving on. Right? In physical, you can move on. You can look back and say, hey, that was 5 years ago. That was 10 years ago. But shame will stick with you. Shame will stick with you, sisters and brothers. Shame will stick with you, and shame will make you feel like you are the worst person in the world. You can't play with shame, right? You have to confront shame in your life. You have to confront, because what shame does, another thing about shame is shame will ask you questions about yourself. Why'd you do that? Who are you? If you loved you. See, shame has a voice. Shame has a distinct voice that constantly wants to tear you down. It wants to beat you down. It wants to make you feel like you can never get up again. I want to talk about shame this morning. And when it comes down to when it comes down to this story of Jonah, again, Jonah was supposed to be on his way somewhere else, right? And here's Jonah now. He jumps on a boat full of people that are going where they're going. Has anybody ever been through that where you were going where you were going and you allowed, and sometimes it's not a relationship, sometimes it's family, sometimes it's friendship that comes in and hinders your way. It hinders where you're going, right? And sometimes it's not even people. Sometimes it's the thought of shame. It's the thought of shame where you're trying to rebuild your life. And you know what shame tells you? You failed before. Right? Shame always reminds you of what you didn't do, what you didn't say, and what you're not worth. Shame will always try to remind you of the broken places in your life. Right? And so, number one, I want to say that shame grows when you reject yourself. Let's talk about this. Shame grows when you reject yourself. The work of shame is to get you to reject the goodness in yourself. I dealt with that before. It was about maybe, I want to say almost 6 months of my life one time, about 6 months, maybe 2 years ago, 6 months of my life, every morning. You know how you wake up in the morning and you're not quite awake, but you are awake. Your eyes are still closed. You're laying there, but your mind is fully awake and you're thinking. There was about 6 months of my life straight through where all I did was think about how horrible I was, how much better I could be doing. Are you being a good dad? Did you get this done? And I would start my day beating myself down. That shame. Are you good enough? Did you do enough? Right? It's that shame. And what shame does is fatigues you. It makes your mind tired. It wears you out. Because ultimately, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna shoot straight to a path right now. If shame stays in your life long enough, it is eventually the question will be, is it worth living? This is why we got to attack shame. This is why when it comes to shame, I'm not against counseling. I've been in counseling. I'm not talking, but when you deal with shame, some things can't be counseled out of your life. Some things you got to decide before they destroy you. Right? Because again, shame grows when you reject yourself. When you tell yourself, I'm not good enough. Right? When you tell yourself you can't do it, that's when shame, you can't give shame a strength, right? Shame really has no strength unless you give it to it. Shame has no strength over your life. You have to give shame strength by saying things negative about yourself. Watch your words. Watch your mouth when it comes to you. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Watch your mouth when it comes to you, because shame will try to talk you flat out of who you are, what you want to become, and where you want to go in life. You have to curse shame before shame curses you. Let me see who's in the room. Good morning. Good morning, Lifeline. Sometimes it's leaders with hidden agenda. Sometimes it is. But right now, when it comes to shame is personal. Shame is personal. Shame is personal. And the goal of shame is to crumble you, right? And so what happens is, when shame comes on you, it starts to make you feel like you should abandon your passions. You should abandon the things that matter to you, right? That darkness will get on you and make you feel like you should abandon the things that are closest to your heart. What shame wants to do is separate you from what will make you feel like yourself. Man, let's get into it today, right? Shame, the goal of shame is to try to get you to believe that there's nothing good about you. It's like a wet, dark blanket that starts to come over your life, right? People go through shame after divorce, right? A lot of us have faced shame after divorce. A lot of us have faced shame as parents. You feel like you're not being a good enough parent. Shame will get on you, right? Single moms out there. I'm on the Dear Sister and Dear Brother podcast this morning. Good morning, everybody coming in. Shame will make a single mother feel like she's unworthy, right? Shame will make her feel like she's messed up so bad because of the choice of man she had. Shame will get on there. And it's easy to say, hey, I don't care, right? Or this is another thing in our community. It is what it is. But the fact is, while you're saying it is what it is, shame will start to work on you and make you feel like maybe you should have did better, right? And so the fuel to shame is for you to reject yourself. Listen, don't reject yourself. I'm telling you how to win against shame this morning. Don't reject yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Don't reject yourself. Don't reject the hype. So, like with this podcast, I love doing this podcast. There are some days, listen, There's some days where the enemy will fight my mind and make me feel like I'm nothing. I'm worth nothing. I can't get anywhere. I can't do anything, right? There's some mornings I come down here at 2 or 3 in the morning and I'll sit and try to get ready for this show. And shame will say, well, you don't have nothing to say, right? You don't have nothing to say to them people. Them people don't want to hear you. You can't help nobody, right? This is shame. This is shame. This is shame. And shame will try to steal your passion away from you, right? Shame will try to separate you from family. Shame likes to isolate. See, that's the game of shame. The game of shame is to isolate you, put you in a place where the only voice you can hear is that voice of shame. Let me see who's in the chat. Let me see. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Xavier. Good morning, Shakayla. Good morning. Good morning, Chantel. Yes, shame wants you to reject your greatest potential. That's what shame is after. Shame is after your greatest potential, y'all. That's what shame wants to take. It wants to take your greatest potential, right? For some of you right now, you're trying to write a book. You're trying to start a business. You're trying to heal your relationship. You're trying to fix your marriage. You're trying to fix things with family. Shame will always be the reminder, right? You can't do this. You know, the greatest thing you can do to shame is question shame. When shame tells you what you can't do, you have to question, why can't I? See, this is psychological. The battlefield is in the mind, y'all. The battlefield ain't in your pocket, right? Money comes, money goes. The battlefield is in your mind. The battlefield is how you talk to yourself when shame talks to you or guilt talks to you or doubt talks to you. Shame. How do you respond? What is your response, right? When Israel was trying to get to the promised land, like some of you trying to get to a promised land in your life, right? What happens? They went and they spied the land. What did they see? They say, I saw giants there. I saw things there bigger than me. That's what shame wants you to do. This is bigger than you. That job you want, that level up you want. Oh, you can't handle. That's bigger than you, right? It will tell you you don't look the part. You don't sound the part. What shame helps you do is it helps you locate every negative side of you. That's what shame will do. Shame will help you locate every negative side of you and decide why you're not capable. Right? And so let's talk about this concept of shame. And this is why I brought it from Jonah, because I'm gonna tell you something. Scriptural Jonah was not a victim. Jonah was a problem. Oh yeah. Oh, let's talk for a minute, y'all. Let's talk for a minute, because again, it was a boat full of people going to wherever they were going. They were going on to destiny. And here comes Jonah, jumps on it. Jonah represents shame. Jonah in that story represented shame. He jumped in their life and caused a storm. Have you ever allowed someone in your life that caused you a storm? Oh man, caused you a storm. You were fine. You were going where you got to go. You were doing your education. You were building your life. And here comes somebody that's running from their purpose, comes into your life and delays your journey. Yeah, it delays your journey. There's people that will come in your life and delay your journey. Jonah was not a victim. Jonah was a problem. And I'm going to tell y'all something. There's a lot of you that got Jonahs that have jumped in your life and have held you up from where you're trying to go. Right? And what did Jonah do? I'm going to shortcut this because, oh my goodness, let me see what time. Oh, I got 9 minutes, y'all. Oh, I got 9 minutes. Jonah jumped on these people's boats. And the scripture says that Jonah laid down in the bottom of their boat and went to sleep. And all hell broke loose, and they're running around trying to figure out why their boat is going crazy. They're trying to figure out why these storms came. Why did the storms come? Because there was somebody that jumped on their journey and caused the storm and wouldn't admit it. There are people in your life that are the cause of your storm. They're the cause of your delay. They're the cause of your problem. And while you're trying to figure out what's happening, they are resting in your life, and they're the cause of your storm the whole time. Oh man. Yes, this is why you got to watch who you allow in your ear gate. Your ear gate is what you hear. Why? You have to protect who you allow to speak to you. It will cause a delay. You have to watch who you allow to speak words into your life. It will cause your delay. You have to watch who you decide to date. It will cause your delay. Watch who you decide to spend time on the phone with. It will cause your delay. Listen, I give you permission today to protect yourself from Jonahs that are on the run. Who are you? Who are you harboring, right? When someone does a crime and you help them and they run to you and you hide them, it's called harboring a fugitive. And many of you are harboring fugitives in your life, causing shame to come to your life. I would suggest that some of y'all look around and start really deciding. Look through your cell phone and start scrolling through. Say, who's the cause of my delay? Who is causing my problems? Who in my life? Who did I invite? Who am I dating? Who am I in love with? That's the cause of your delay. Some of you are in love with Jonas. Your boyfriend is a Jonah. Your girlfriend's a Jonah. Huh? Some of you, your mama's a Jonah. It's people in your life that will always cause you to question yourself, question where you're going, question your worth and your value. Someone's always trying to jump on your boat to stop you from where you got to go. You have to identify them. But what you can't do is allow shame to make you think everything's your fault. That is another trick of shame. It wants you to believe that everything that's happening to you is your fault. And sometimes it's not all you, it's who you've allowed on your boat. You have to locate the people in your life that are hindrances. Oh man, let me see. Let me see. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let me see who's in the building. Yes, Shakayla, do not reject yourself. Don't reject yourself. Absolutely. Let me see. Yes, shame will cause you to self-destruct. That's the whole, see, this is the thing, Chantel. Shame will cause you to self-destruct, right? Now you're going to destroy yourself. Now Chantel, let me give you a point about what you just said. Let me bring you back up. When the boat was going crazy in that story of Jonah, when the boat was going crazy, Jonah was on their boat. He was the cause of the storm. And watch this. They said, we can rescue ourselves from this storm if we start throwing weight overboard. In other words, they had food. They had things they needed for their journey. And watch what they did. Because they didn't realize that Jonah was the cause of their storm, they start throwing their own stuff overboard to try to lighten the boat, right? So it wouldn't crash. Isn't that something? That there are people in your life that are the cause of your storm, and they'll watch you throw the things that are good about you overboard. They'll watch you investigate you. They'll watch you beat yourself down, knowing that they are the cause of your delay. Oh, man. What? Listen, look around in your life and watch who's sleeping while you're in trouble. Look around in your life and watch who's sleeping while you're in trouble. Because it's something else. How can you rest while I'm going through this? Right? Look at the friends in your life, the people in your life that you trust. Watch the people that can be flat out relaxed while you're going through hell. Let me see. Good morning, Martina Mitchell. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. All right, let me get into this. Goodness gracious, I got 5 minutes. Lord God, okay. All right. So number one, shame grows when you reject yourself. Don't reject yourself. Right? Number two, fear of big dreams feeds shame. When you're scared to pursue big dreams, it feeds your shame. Right? You gotta go, listen to me, y'all. You gotta go no matter what goes on. Hear me? You have to go no matter what goes on. You hear me? You have to go no matter what goes on in your life. Why? Because if you got a big dream, you cannot allow shame to make you minimize what you believe in. Oh, don't allow shame to make you minimize what you believe in. First, don't let shame allow you to minimize you. Don't let shame allow you to minimize you. If you're on YouTube right now, hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. If you're enjoying the show and you think other people will grow by it, hit the like button. I'm streaming live right now from the Dear Brother and Dear Sister podcast. Available to you right now. This is my little commercial break, y'all. Go to my website, christianwinters.com. I have this ebook on sale right now for $5. Removing the Shame Part 1. This book is 3 parts. I wrote this book a few years ago. I'm re-releasing it now. Removing the Shame Part 1. Who's the cause of your delay? Go to my website right now, christianwinners.com, and you can get that right in my store, $5 for sale today. All right. And also, I also have on my website available Overcoming Fatigue. That's also $5 sale today on my website, christianwinners.com. Go get it right now. All right. Let me see. Don't allow your big dreams to go away because of fear. I mean, because of shame. Shame will make you think who you think you are. That's one of the biggest questions shame likes to ask. Who you think you are? Who do you think you are? Right? Right? Who do you think you are, that thinking that you can dream big? That's the question that shame will ask you. And again, I want to drive this home. Shame is not a teacher, it's a terrorist. Don't think shame doesn't come to teach you anything. Shame comes to terrorize your life. Shame comes to make you feel unworthy of love, right? Watch this. Shame is so heavy that it will make you feel unworthy of God's love. Come on, right? Shame. For some of you leaders out there, especially religious leaders, shame will cause you to use your gift while you're broken. And while you're and we celebrate that, oh, I'm going on while I'm broken. That's nothing to celebrate, ladies and gentlemen, because shame is a tease. Shame will say, look at you using your gift and not feeling your gift, right? Shame will look and watch you do good for others, but you can't find goodness for yourself. That's the voice of shame will start working on you. Look at you. You're good for everybody else. You can't find no strength for yourself. So you got to get Jonah off your boat. You got to throw him overboard. He doesn't belong there. Who is in your life that doesn't belong? Who is the cause of your delay, y'all? Who's the cause of your delay? Let me see. Oh, God. Okay, I got 2 minutes. Let me see. Martina Mitchell, watch you sleeping while you struggle. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Jonah was on there. I gotta part 2 this tomorrow, y'all. I gotta get out of here. Ooh. Watch who's sleeping while you struggle. Jonah was on their boat relaxing while they're throwing their own stuff overboard. How much have you thrown overboard? You thrown your dreams, you thrown your goals while you're harboring a fugitive that's holding up your life. You don't need to throw your stuff overboard. You need to throw them overboard. Stop being so nice to people that hold you up. Y'all hear me? Stop being so nice to people that have caused your delay. Y'all hear what I'm saying? You see, Chantel, good. Are you purchasing good? Thank you so much, my sister. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, y'all. Huh? See, I'm proud of you, Chantel. I'm proud of you. See, you bought the book. Now you're saying now it's time to apply. I'm so proud of you, sister. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Let me see. Let me see. Listen, I started making it. Yes. Who's the cause? Who's the cause of your delay? What Jonahs are on your boat causing your storm but won't admit it? Right? Causing your storm but won't admit it. Let me finish this. Number 3, shortcuts hurt you in the long run. Shortcuts hurt you in the long run. Shortcuts hurt you in the long run. When you're living your life, when you're building your future, don't take shortcuts. Take the long route. You hear me? Take the long route, because when you take shortcuts, you're going to be missing something once you get where you need to go. Take the long route, right? Put that in the chat. Take the long route. Don't take shortcuts, because when you take shortcuts, when you get where you got to go, you'll realize, damn it, I don't have everything I need to stay here. And then again, shame will come. Shame will then come again. You invite shame by taking shortcuts. Don't take shortcuts. Don't take shortcuts building relationships. Don't take shortcuts building your future. Go the long route. The long route is hard, y'all. I took the long route. The long route is hard. The long route had me on dialysis, right? The long route put me through sickness. The long route, I almost died 3 times. The long route, I had to take the long route. The long route, I went through 2 divorces. The long route had me homeless. The long route. But I'm going to tell you one thing. You hear God more on the long route than you hear him in the shortcut. You can't hear God in the excuse me. You can't hear God in the shortcut. You got to hear him in the long run. You know why? Because the long run begins to separate things that you don't need in your life that will hinder you from where you got to go. The long route. Take the long route, because the long route strips you of things you don't need at the top. because you don't want to get to the top and then realize you don't have what it takes to get there. And the truth is, it's really about what you lose. It's not about what you gain. When you're climbing to the top, wherever that top is, it's about what you lose, not what you gain. Everybody's trying to gain. The win is to what can I get rid of? What in my life don't I need? Who in my life don't I need? What issues in my life? Let life strip you. Oh, you ain't gonna hear nobody teach this, right? Because we live in a society, it's about gain, how much I can get, how much I can even take from people, right? That's the society we live in. But I'm a spiritual man. I'm a spiritual man. And I'm telling you, the day we live in right now, and because gain is so high and everybody's trying to get, whether it's in politics, music, every genre, religion, everybody's trying to get somewhere. Everybody's trying to gain something. And I'm going to tell you, we're living in the day of the loser. Woo. We're living in the day of the loser. When you're willing to lose, I'm telling you, losers are winning now, because what a loser says is, what don't I need? I'd rather have a light backpack to the top than when I get there, than shame, guilt, doubt, and some people I don't need trying to remind me of my past. And let me tell you something right now. Anybody that wants to rehearse your past needs to stay in your past. You hear what I'm saying? Because there are people that will want you to always think about where you've been. They don't want you to think about the lessons that you gained to get where you got to go. They want you to think of where you've been and why you're not worthy of taking the next step. Let me tell you, brother, you're worthy of being loved by a woman. Let me tell you, some sisters on the Dear Sister podcast, you're worthy of loving again. You're worthy of being married again. You're worthy of being accepted again. You brothers out there, you're worthy of the future you saw for yourself. You are worthy of it. Shame is trying to delay you. Shame is trying to tell you what you're not. Shame is trying to tell you what you don't have or you can't maintain it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Right? Let me see, because I gotta go. Let me get in this. Part 2. This, because I need all this. Yes, ma'am. I'm putting out part 2. I'm gonna put out part 2, y'all. I promise I'm gonna put out part 2. All right. Take the long route. Absolutely. Let me say, glad I joined this morning. Needed this. Amen. What's sinking my boat? Absolutely. Let me see. Don't take shortcuts. Take the long route. Yes. Take the long route. All right, y'all crazy folks. I gotta get to take my baby to school. Listen, go on my website right now, y'all. I'm selling an ebook, $5, part 1. I'll bring out part 2 probably in another 2 weeks, and part 3 in another 2 weeks. They're all sitting and they're ready. All right. Removing the Shame, part 1. Who's the cause of your delay? Go on my website right now, christianwinners.com. Grab it right out of my store. It's on sale for $5. Also, for some of you out there battling fatigue, battling psychological fatigue, when you're battling mental and emotional fatigue, I wrote this ebook for you, overcoming fatigue. It's on my website right now. Go get it, christianwinters.com. All right, go get these ebooks, Removing the Shame and Overcoming Fatigue. Go grab both of them. They're $5. Y'all go grab both of them, but they will change your life. I gotta go, everybody, but remember this, everybody. You matter. You matter, brothers out there. You matter. From the Dear Brother podcast, you matter. For the dear sisters, let me see. Dear sisters, always remember, my dear sisters, you're worth it. Brothers, you matter. Sisters, you're worth it. Let me get out of here today, everybody. But let me close the show like we always do. Y'all say it with me. Yesterday is history and tomorrow is a mystery. All you got is right now. What you gonna do with it? What you gonna do about it? I love you. Have a great day. You're brilliant. Don't you ever forget it. Visit my website, christianwinners.com. I offer one-on-one counseling there by donation based. I offer group counseling there, and my books are there as well. I love y'all. You're brilliant, you're brave, and you're powerful. No fear, no shame, no compromise.